All right, Tristan Warner here, editor of Win Magazine. We have a special treat here. The May 5th issue of Win Magazine is always, the awards issue, annual awards issue, and we have several awards to announce this year, in addition to the article that will come out, announcing all the award winners. We also have a little supplemental YouTube video interview here, so I'm joined today by a special guest, Jordyn Raney out of Union County, Kentucky. Jordyn is being named the recipient of the 2026 Junior Schalles Award for the nation's top high school pinner among boys wrestling. So, Jordyn, thanks for joining us today. Give you a little bit of background on the award, just so you know. Obviously, everybody's heard of Wade Schalles, but some of the stats of his career: two-time NCAA champ at Clarion, won 153 of his 159 matches in college, and pinned 109 opponents. So, obviously, a worthy person to have this award be named after. Excited to have you joining us today and just talk a little bit about what does it mean to win the Schalles Award as the nation's top pinner.
It's incredible. I'm honored to win this award. Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, I try to pin everyone I wrestle, so getting a reward for it's pretty, or an award for it is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Talk a little bit about, you and your brother, your twin brother, growing up in Kentucky. I don't know if when you guys got started in the sport, you would ever see a day that you would achieve this level of success and this level of domination. What was it like to get started wrestling in Kentucky, and how have you guys been able to, in a state that's not really known for wrestling to that level, how have you guys been able to achieve so highly already?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know. We started wrestling when we were 4, and our dad just wanted us to start wrestling for self defense. He didn't think we were gonna be good or anything. He just wanted us to just be able to have something in our back pocket. And then once we actually started coming pretty decent. So he was like, maybe we should keep going with this. So then we just stuck to it. We fell in love with it, and here we are. And it's pretty awesome. Not many people, like, when you think of Kentucky wrestling, you don't really think high level, but it's growing and it's getting pretty good now. So yeah, it's pretty sick.
Awesome. Awesome. Talk a little bit about, your training partners, coaches you've had coming up through. I mean, you can wrestle your whole life, but if you don't have the right coaches and training situation, you could probably only go so far. How are you guys able to, capitalize on who you were able to find down there? I actually grew up with Brooks Black, who's one of your coaches, wrestling together at club back home in Pennsylvania. I know he's been a big influence for you guys, but who else and how are you guys able to, make the most of your circumstances, I guess?
Yeah, for training partners, I got my brother. Obviously, he's in the other room listening. He's obviously number one in the country, one of the best. I mean, pretty dang good wrestler. So it's awesome to have him. But then just our school has actually produced quite a few good wrestlers. We got Stephen Little, NCAA All American this year. Just growing up, he was always my role model in high school. He had set high standards. I always wanted to pass him or be just as good as him. And then we got Trace Ekman. He's another Division I athlete, super dominant. And then we have a whole bunch of other guys like going D1 this year and last year. But the coaches, we got Coach Brooks. Obviously, he's an amazing head coach now, and yeah, he's been there every step of the ride. And we have Coach Jarvis Elam, their co-head coaches, and for a little guy coach, he's pretty dang good. He's loud, brings a lot of energy, just gets everyone pumped up for the day. And then we have Coach
Yeah.
Robert Irvin. He was the former head coach. I don't think there's too many coaches better than him. I'm gonna be honest. He knows everything. He knows all the tricks in the book. So just being able to be under him is pretty awesome. And then my dad, obviously, he's the one that got us all started. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, how important has it been to have your brother along the ride with you? I actually have twin sons myself who are 3. I know I dream about the day they maybe get involved, but how much of a benefit has it been to you and to Jayden to have each other as, right around the same size your whole life, training partners, just somebody also to go through the whole grind of wrestling with that's, same grade as you, close to the same weight, you're going to all the same events. How much of a benefit has that been to your career?
I mean, without him, I don't think I'd be any good at wrestling. I'm gonna be honest. I may be decent, but I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at right now. He's pushed me every day. Some days he's kicked my butt, so it's made me even want to be better. And some days I've kicked his. Most days I kick his butt. So yeah, he just pushes me like at these tournaments. Every tournament we go to, we always see who can get the more pins and who can get them faster. So it's always a competition with him. He always pushes me to try to beat him. I always push him to try to beat me. So we just make each other better every day. And crazy thing, we never fight at practice, so we're always in there like having fun. And I don't know, just we both just help each other out a lot.
Yes, for sure. And that's a nice segue to the next question I was going to ask you. Obviously, we're sitting here talking about the Junior Schalles Award, the nation's top pinner. You kind of already answered it. You said you and your brother have always had that goal to go out and pin people. I think especially in the last several years, now that they've changed the points and then the scoring and everything, it's easier to get a tech fall now. So you've seen a lot of these top guys in the country that go out and just rack up a bunch of points, rack up a tech fall. Do you and your brother specifically have that goal when you go out on the mat to go get a pin? Is that kind of, and where does that come from? I guess obviously if you're winning the Chalice Award, you have a ton of pins, and not just at the Kentucky level, but also at the national level. Talk a little bit about that motivation that when you step out on the mat, you want to pin people.
Yeah, so we've like our dad mainly. He's never like taught us to go like score a bunch of points and try to tech fall people. It's always
Mhm.
been that killer mindset. Like if you go out there, you want to pin them as fast as you can, get off the mat as fast as possible. And like we
Yeah.
train quite a bit during the week. So he's like, why spend more mat time on the weekend when you already spend all this mat time during the week? And like you're training with JJ, wrestling live with him. So you've wrestled enough. Just go pin people as fast as you can. And that's just like
Right.
that's what we've always grown up like. Plus, like in a duel, a pin 6 points, a tech falls five. Why score one less point when you
Yeah.
can just get six? And even in like open tournaments, there's more points for a pin and less points for a tech. So it's like, why are you not trying to pin everybody? So that's just the mindset. Like
Right.
we had, just go out there, get as many points as we can, team points as we can, and just pin them people as fast as you can. And that's what we try to do.
Right, and it shows. I was gonna read off your couple of your stats here real quick. I've got in front of me 33-0 this year, your senior year, with 31 pins. You had one tech, 97% bonus rate. So I think the only two non-pins that you had were at Ironman, and even at Ironman you had three pins. One of them over the number, the guy we have currently ranked fifth in the country in wins high school rankings, O'Neill from Malvern Prep. And then, your coach Brooks sent me some good stats here. 203 and 4 career record with 187 pins, a 92% pin rate. And you just barely ousted your brother there. He had 176 pins at a 90% bonus rate. So, are you going to hold this one over his head a little bit? I was talking to Brooks a little bit. He said your brother won OW at the Kentucky States over you. So now you got one back on him.
Yeah, last 2 years he's won OW and most pins at state. So finally, I get my
Okay.
little get back on him.
Yeah. So, it's one thing to have that mentality that you want to go out and pin everybody, but to actually put it into practice, and it's like I said earlier in the interview, it's not just that you're going out and pinning kids in Kentucky. You're, like I said, you're pinning three kids at Ironman, the number 5 kid in the country. How is it about the way that you guys train that you're able to be so proficient, I guess, at pinning people? It's not just a mentality; it's also the technique aspect. Is that something you guys specifically work on? Like, we're going to work on cradles today, or we're going to work on our top work, or I guess how do you find yourself in pinning positions in matches?
I'm gonna be honest, I really have no clue. We don't really specifically work on one thing or another.
Yeah.
We just wrestle each other, and our dad's like, if you pin them, you pin them. Like if you get them on their back, you keep them there. And we're both pretty heavy on top, so like even if he puts me on my back, it's hard for me to get off mine. And if I put him on his back, it's he ain't getting off his back. So,
Yeah.
uh, but
Love it. That's
yeah, we've
cool.
just always been told to pin everybody, and even in practice, it's just like don't go try to tech people in practice. You go try to pin people in practice. So if we can pin someone in practice, we're
Yep.
pinning them in practice. So yeah.
Awesome. And I wanted to bring up last year's Junior Schalles Award winner was Sergio Vega, who is going to be your future teammate at Oklahoma State. And, his career has turned out pretty well so far, I would say. So maybe you're following in his footsteps a little bit. National champ, hasn't been taken down yet in college wrestling as a true freshman. Talk a little bit about your decision to go to Oklahoma State and surround yourself with guys like Sergio, who won this award last year.
Yeah, we knew Oklahoma State was the best place to be. Honestly, the people like three true freshmen winning a national title. That's very rare to do, and two undefeated freshmen winning it. That's unheard of. So we just thought, look what Oklahoma State's built them in 1 year, and we were just like, that's where we need to be if we want to be a 4-time, 5-time national champions, whatever the new rules are going to be. So
Yep.
that just really, it was an easy decision, honestly.
Yeah. And, the guy you're going to be going to wrestle for, David Taylor, among the other great coaches they have there, was quite a pinner himself. I was actually in his nationals bracket 1 or 2 times, and I think he pinned like 4 of the 5 guys he wrestled at NCAAs that year. Talk a little bit about how is somebody like him going to only just make your wrestling better?
Yeah, so he used to be my favorite wrestler when I was growing up, and he pinned everybody. So I was just like, man. And then whenever we got here,
Yep.
he was just like, we're gonna pin some people, and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna pin everybody. So he was like, and he was a cradler, and me and my brother were
Yep.
pretty known as cradlers. So it's just pretty awesome,
Yep.
just being able to follow his footsteps and try to pin everyone we can.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. So, are we going to see you guys? I think you're flying out to Vegas this week. You're going to the U.S. Open. What's next for you guys before, the college season next year? Are you guys going to be trying to do all this age level type stuff this spring and summer?
So we're going to Vegas to wrestle senior Greco-Roman, but then I think
Okay.
that's all we're gonna try to do. If we don't make the senior team, we're just gonna move out to Oklahoma, graduate, and then move out here and get ready for college.
Great. And last question for you, just anybody watching this who's maybe from, I think you guys are inspirational in the fact that you're, like we talked about over the summer at Fargo, from Kentucky, from a state that's not super well known, but slowly improving for sure. What's your message to kids out there or coaches out there that are wrestling in maybe a more non-traditional state that they can, if you put the work in, surround yourself with the right people, you can do big things on a big national and international level?
Yeah, always just staying positive, even when days aren't very fun or very just not going your way. It's always you're always learning, and so just keeping a positive mindset and good energy. It's gonna help you grow and become a better wrestler overall. And that's just a big thing I always kept with me. Even like those bad and hard days, just being able to grow from that instead of tearing yourself down. Just it's one of the better things you can do, and it's really helped me grow. And yeah, just staying positive and being happy.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, congratulations. Jordyn Raney, our 2026 recipient of the Junior Schalles Award, is the nation's top pinner. We expect to see big things from him in the future here in college. He'll be at Oklahoma State next year alongside his brother, Jaden. Thanks a lot for joining us, Jordyn. Really appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thank you for having me on here.